Hello, my name is Jonathan Chavarria, and today I'll be presenting a snapshot of my senior project. So to start off, I guess you can say I'm kind of a hypocrite because in this program we learn about designing sustainable areas and also incorporating sustainable practices, and we are kind of taught to live in this world. But on a weekend when we're not cluttered with projects and assignments due, you'll find me at Sacramento Raceway, one of the most unsustainable forms of vehicle recreation. So cars have played a key role in the world that we live in today. Going back to 1913 when Henry Ford first released the Model T, this was the first mass-produced car, to today's Tesla's all-electric hybrid cars. Cars have come a long way, and they have shaped the way that we interact with the environment, and they also become a form of independence, wealth, and a tool for recreation. Vehicles are very important to sustaining the economy. Not only do they allow us to get from point A to point B, but they also allow to transport goods and resources that we consume in our daily lives. In order for this activity to actually occur, a system of roads and highways needed to be created to connect people in a more efficient way. Today, our landscapes are filled with a network of confusing highways and roads. These networks are meant to allow us to connect between homes, work, through vehicle circulation. One of the most noticeable results from this network highways would be the creation of separated suburban communities. Cars have made it relatively easy to get from one point to another. This has caused cities and communities to become clustered into groups which work, recreation, and living have become separated by miles of roads and highways. Ultimately, we would end up driving about 15 miles to a store to park our car in a barren parking lot. Parking lots were designed to be efficient for cars, fitting the most amount of cars within a space to get more customers in and thus bring in more revenue. As you may have noticed by now, most of the things I've talked about related to cars have led nothing but negative results and a sort of impervious surface, which we all know is the least efficient way of doing things now in sustainable communities. However, not all is lost between the battle of cars and the environment. New landscape building materials are being introduced into the built environment. The usage of pervious concretes and pervious paving materials has changed the way parking lots are being designed. With the addition of new rules and guidelines, landscape architects are changing the way the modern landscape is perceived. These new technologies are being applied anywhere and all types of scales. For example, in small residential projects, residents are now aware more water-wise when it comes to their landscape. The use of aesthetically pleasing materials, such as real rock color paving, vibrant plants, and of course a water bill increase, have really influenced the traditional landscape of lawn towards a more sustainable and water-wise approach. Not only are these practices and tools being used in home landscapes, but also efforts are being put into street design. Various methods of rainwater collection, pedestrian safety, and traffic flow are being implemented and created for a better experience for the user and the environment, such as storm planters and also speed humps to reduce traffic. All these sustainable practices and methods are being implemented in various scales at locations, including civic centers. Methods used in small-scale residential projects are being blown up to a larger scale and implemented into recreation fields. Why? Because they are proven to work. Sustainable practices have been implemented in all aspects of our life. However, they still seem to be neglected when it comes to recreation for vehicles and specifically raceway parks. My goal is to challenge the norm and show that raceway parks, which are a predominant hardscape recreation facility and also a major polluter, can be redesigned with the usage of sustainable practices to create an immersive recreational facility that in the long run can potentially become a net zero carbon emissions facility. The site of the study will be Sacramento Raceway Park, located just south of Rancho Cordova. This site is on a 190-acre parcel lot. When it first opened, it consisted of a drag race strip, an oval track, and 2 dirt bike trails. At the moment, it only has 1 dirt bike track and a drag race strip, which means that about 40% of the land at the moment is being used, and the other is just bare open land, which is good for design. So you were to do a quick Google search for drag racing, you would find images like this, such as cars doing burnouts, filling up the air with smog. And although this may seem an excessiveness to you, this is what race enthusiasts love to see when they go out to a site. And on certain events, you will go back home with the residual scent of a car exhaust and fuels on your clothing. Just as you may expect, the raceway has no actual visual stimuli for a person. This is a picture of the parking lot showing one of the 10 trees on the whole parking lot. As a landscape architect student, it kills me to see so much concrete in one area, but it also brings joy to my heart because it's a potential open canvas for design. But for the most part, drivers go to the racetrack to test, tune, and race their cars. Many of the times, they're friendship rivalries to see who has the quickest and fastest car. They argue about who can get the fastest lap time and who can speed off faster. Even though the track may seem like they may seem like they really hate each other, deep down, they're all connected through the same interest of cars and racing. When it comes to these sports, people spend over $20,000 on their cars just on modifications. This bringing up the local economy because they get all their stuff from local vendors. Raceways also have an aspect, a social aspect, because racing is a family sport. There's a culture created around racing. It's amazing when you go to an event and you see a little kid all greased up helping his dad at the pit. With new generations emerging and the community also moving towards new technologies, vehicles are being introduced, such as a Tesla. Electric cars at the moment are not a popular choice within hardcore fans, but are becoming more in common with newer generations. One company, Tesla, is making cars such as the Model P85D, has an insane mode, making it a top competitor with other muscle cars that aren't as carbon emission as that one. Raceways is jumping into sustainable movement and some tools on their site. In addition, this is Sonoma Raceway. In addition to them having their lawnmowers, and instead of using lawnmowers, they use sheep to trim the grass. They have solar panel farms, and they're using a recycling program. There's so much unused space there's so much unused space in Sacramento Raceway. It has so much potential. Imagine it becoming a space with multi-function. The track is only active for about half the year. The rest of the time, it is just a dead zone. The site can ultimately hold various recreation activities such as bike trails, solar panel farms, ponds, viewing trails, and habitat for animals. If all goes well, Sacramento Raceway will become a model for other racetracks wanting to become more sustainable. It will have a function of year-round people and may not. It will have function for people year-round who don't. It will have a function for people who normally might not come year-round to the racetrack. Thank you.